Eddie asks, is there an effect that makes a character zoom in while the background is zoomed out? So let's do that. Okay, to start with, we would just take our image, whatever it is that you're trying to blow up, and put it on the timeline. And I think we'll just put it on the timeline twice, because what we're going to do is we're going to cut out the character and make the background invisible on the top, and then we'll leave the bottom as is, and then that should give you the effect that you want once we scale it up. So let's go ahead with that. I'm going to go ahead and just turn off the bottom one so we can see that it's actually working. And then what we want to do here is we want to basically cut the person out. Now there's two ways you could do that. In AI tools, you could go into the, and by the way, if you don't see it like this, it's because I've collapsed all of the categories. So anyway, this is just to make it easier to see. So there's two ways of doing this. We can either use the AI Portrait Cutout, but have a little less ability as to what is chosen, or we can use the Smart Cutout, in which case we have to work in a little more detail in selecting what we want. So let's start the easy way. We'll start with the AI Cutout. You see, as soon as we apply that, here's our person. It's the advanced cutout mode. The AI is working to try to figure out what we need. And it's mostly pretty good. We're losing a little bit of the foot there or whatever. And they have another one here, quick cutout mode. That gives you a little bit more ability to change things like edge thickness. Now we can change it and we get it in. But it also includes some of the background. We can feather the background so that it's kind of like this. We can make it fuzzy. Now all we have to do is go down here and make the background visible again, and there's our person. Now we want to go into the image basic, where we can transform the size of it, and we want to use keyframes, and we can just click the keyframe right here. When we click that up there, you'll notice that we got a little icon down here that indicates that there's a keyframe on. After setting the first keyframe, just move the playhead up to where you want the enlargement to be. I would recommend that you don't go all the way to the end, so that the enlarged person or zoomed in effect will appear on the screen for a few seconds. And now we're going to scale it up, which is what you call zoom in. After zooming in on the person, use the X and Y coordinates to move the image over and up to align right where you want it. Use the Y position. We can kind of go like this up to where the flowers are. So that's using kind of AI to do it, and we do get it okay. And if that's okay with you, then you don't need to do anything further. But let's just reverse this. In fact, let's just ditch this thing altogether and take a new copy of it and stick it down here. So now we're going to do it the other way. We're going to go back into AI tools, and in this case we're not going to use the AI Portrait Cutout. Instead we'll use the Smart Cutout. So we activate it, and let's go ahead and move our cursor back to the beginning, although it can be anywhere on a static picture like this. And then we'll click that to start that. We get another pop-up window here, which is nice. We can hold down the Control key and then use the middle mouse button to scroll in. Then we can use the hand icon to center our subject so it's easier to do it. We use the pencil icon, or they call it the brush, okay? And it may cover more than what we want, but there's also an eraser. Now the Smart Cutout actually should take, it took almost everything we needed. We need a thinner brush at this point. So let's hold that in there like that. We can also choose preset sizes like this, like 200% right here, and then use the hand to bring into focus the part that we need to capture. Obviously, what we want to capture has to be in purple. So we've decreased the size of the brush so we don't paint too far over it. And we'll go down here like this, a little bit on the fingers. Looks like we lost a little bit of the pants. So more or less like that. And let's just zoom out. We'll hold down the Control key. Oh yeah, there's part of the one shoe we didn't get. So let's just zoom in on that, hold down the control key again, and take our brush and then go like that, and it should select it for us. You can go wild on this stuff. Obviously the eraser is the reverse, so if you took too much and there's a tiny little part here, let's make the brush as small as we can and use the eraser just to show you how to do that. You can erase here if you accidentally took too much. Okay, now we'll just go back to fit, and there's our picture. And we can get a preview of by clicking on this icon here and just toggle to transparency black. And it's a little bit better than the AI Smart Cutout. So I think we'll use this one. And from here, the concept is the same. We simply do a save. And now our image is here on the top. And we actually have the bottom one already visible. In other words, I didn't click the little eye. We go back to basic. And again, what we want to do is we want to add keyframes. So we add our first keyframe right there. Okay, so we have we've applied our keyframe to the picture. We next move the playhead to where we want it to be enlarged. And I would recommend you don't do that at the end because you want to have a second or two so the audience can actually see the finished zooming in. And so we move the playhead to where we want this transformation to occur. And that's right here. Now it moved out of place for us, so we use X to move it on the X coordinate and Y to move it on the Y coordinate. So we could do it like that, or we could actually make the person grow up. Now we do have a little bit here on the edges as well, but that's the detail work. Let's just play it back and see what happens. And there you go. You zoomed in and you have it.